The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey everyone, thanks for joining us today. My name is Jesse Heller. I am the Marketing Director at FAE Business Systems Group, and I'm really excited to have Patricia from the APS Payments team. She's going to be taking us through today's webinar on the new way to process payments in Sage 100. So excited to have you with us, Patricia. Why don't you go on over to the next slide so you can see our agenda. I'm going to quickly talk a little bit about FAE Business Systems Group in a couple of intro slides, and then Patty is going to be taking us through the rest of the presentation, discussing APS payments and their product offerings, as well as take us through today's webinar topic. So in case you are not aware, FAE Business Systems Group, we are a longtime Sage partner and Sugar CRM partner based in Los Angeles and offices throughout the United States. We're known in the ecosystem as the ERP and CRM integration experts, and we've got tons of experience in the ERP space, and we've built a really well-known product in the Sage space. For Sage 100, it's an integration with Sugar CRM, and we've done tons of implementations on the ERP and CRM side. And we also work with a lot of different ERP platforms as well. And on the next side, you can see some of our Sage 100 product offerings that we've built. We've built some really cool enhancements for Sage 100 that you can learn about on our website, fabsg.com, including some of these that you see here, as well as what we're most well known for is our Sage 100 integration with Sugar CRM. I think that's my last slide. Yeah, so in case there are any questions throughout today's presentation, feel free to put them in the chat box, and I'll monitor those as they come in. And with that, Patricia, I'm going to pass it over to you to take us through our presentation today. Thanks again.
Thank you, Jesse, and thank you to Sage as well as FAE Business Group for allowing us to present our solution today. We really appreciate everyone that's joined us. We know how hard it is to set aside time in your day. We understand how busy you are, so we'd like to provide you with information that will be very valuable, not only to you, but also your customers. This is us. You can see us on the screen, the hot chick in the white jacket, that's me. And the reason that I like to show this picture is because there's a wide spectrum of experts that work with APS or at APS. We have people that are coming from the banking industry, from the merchant service industry. We have developers. We have ex-channel partners who have decided to move into the payments industry as well. So a lot of ERP integration knowledge, and definitely we are experts in the credit card processing industry in general, meaning that we do have a really good handle not only on obtaining the lower rates, but making sure that you are compliant, that you can completely automate your process and provide the level of service that your customers deserve and anticipate from you. So APS Payments is 100 PCI compliant. We also provide assistance with PCI compliance at absolutely no charge to our merchants. We provide tokenized credit card data, which means that we allow you to enter your credit card information into Sage. We tokenize the information and store it in our secured vault. We are 100% partner-centric. Let me tell you why this is a huge advantage for you. Your partner is the person who will get to know your company better than anyone else in the ERP space. And whenever you have a third party working with you, you could be at risk of having that third party conflict with other programs in your system. And who better to notify us of such thing as your partner. Plus, if there are ever any types of issues that arise or complications with any type of installation, your partner is always able to help. We offer dedicated training, and we provide training for credit card processing at absolutely no charge. Once you become an APS merchant, we go through a mini process review of your existing procedures, and we actually mimic them onto our system and provide you with training on any of the new features. And by the way, ladies and gentlemen, one of the new features is click to pay. which basically allows you to take advantage of paperless office functionality by sending out your emails via paperless office, but we've included a Pay Now button on the body of the invoice so your customers can actually submit their payment online and the payment resides in cash receipts. So I told you a little bit about us, but I'd like to just give you a little bit more of an idea of where we come from and how long we've been in business. We've been in business for well over a decade. We process for thousands of merchants in over 20 countries. No customer is too small or too large. Our customers process a volume of anywhere between $2,000 and $20 million a month. Yes, I said per month. We are ranked as the top 100 acquirer in the United States by the Nielsen report, and we have been in the Inc. 5000 list for the last 3 years in a row. We have over 250 integrations, and let me just mention, I'm going to show you a couple when we go through the slides, but one of the things that we offer is to provide the integrations at no cost to our merchants so long as the volume of the account justifies our development costs. This is the main reason we have so many integrations, and I have yet to see our company charge any of our merchants to write the integration. So keep that in mind. If you're working with a third-party product and you really need credit card processing to be integrated, we will definitely look into writing that integration for you. Now, last but not least, we offer 24/7 live support, and I want to make sure to underline live support once again. Nowadays, it's a luxury to speak to a human being when you run into an issue and you'd like to fix it. With APS, you are guaranteed that a human being will answer the phone if you call our support line 24/7. Now, what are some of the payment processing challenges that most of our merchants mention to us when they first come to or approach APS? The duplicate entry. Everybody's familiar with that. If you're processing outside of your Sage 100 system, you have to first capture the card, and then you have to type in the information into your Sage system. And of course, that's prone to errors, not to mention the time that you spend typing all of this information into the system. Believe it or not, most merchants do not understand their merchant statements. When we ask, do you know exactly what the fees are and why you're being charged, what the statement says, they really never understand. So we make it a point to educate our merchants and have them obtain the knowledge as to where the fees are being made in that merchant statement. We show them how much the bank is making, how much the card brands are making, and yes, we even tell them how much the processor is making, including us. When we are able to determine everything I just mentioned, we can also find out if they qualify for level 3 processing. This is another part of the educative presentation that we provide. Level 3 processing is something that's been available for years, and most merchants are not familiar with it. I'll talk to you more about it in upcoming slides, but just so you get an idea, level 3 processing can lower your rate in half if you're accepting a business card or a government card. And I'll show you exactly how that happens. The lack of centralized reporting, customer support is never available, much less in live, of course. The ability to process internationally. Nowadays, most businesses are processing internationally. Well, how do they capture the funds internationally? And then last but not least, I want to say, most customers are accustomed to paying online, paying using an app, etc. That availability is simply not there. That's one of the toughest challenges, and we've been able to address it. I'll show you exactly how. Wanted to show you a quick survey from Deloitte. The benefits resulting from card programs, percents of respondents citing benefits by type. Take a look at it, and I won't read through the full slides, but you can see reduced processing time by 75%. How much can you do with that time that you're saving? The reduced number of approvals required, the administrative costs, look at how it's lowered. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't have to go through the slide because you know exactly how much time you're wasting right now by having to enter card information manually, by not allowing your customers to pay online and chasing them down to pay you later. So let's go into the reasons why it's important for you to understand your merchant statement. Now, in the credit card processing industry, there are 3 fee structures. You see them on the screen. There are flat rates, tiered pricing, and interchange plus. 90% of the statements that we analyze come to us with flat rates. Flat rates are the best because they're easy to reconcile, no surprises, the rate never changes, everybody's happy. Wrong. Because of the programs that are put in place, and you are not able to take advantage of them if you have a flat rate contract. Let's just say, for example, you have a flat rate contract that offers you a low rate, maybe 2%. If you process business to business or business to government transaction, that rate can go down by 1.5. So you would get it at 1.65, and it can go as low as 0.05%. You heard correctly. The rate can go as low as 0.05%, depending on the volume of the transaction. However, this cannot happen if you signed a flat rate contract that agrees to 2% or 3%. You're always going to have to pay that. And your processor is actually pocketing the amount of money you would have been saving. So for those of you that are currently happy with flat rates, I caution you, please allow us to review your statements. Allow us to show you if there is any possibility for you to get the level 3 rates. And if so, you can always go back to your existing processor and demand the rates that you're entitled to. The second fee structure, tiered pricing. This is the most confusing. The processor essentially creates 3 brackets: fully qualified, mid-qualified, and non-qualified. Now, when we review these statements, we find that the majority of the transactions are non-qualified, meaning you get the highest rate. When we ask the merchant to explain to us the criteria behind the brackets, they don't know what the criteria is. We ask them to check with the processor doesn't explain it to them. So really, you give the power to the processor. The processor will decide where to qualify each transaction, and needless to say, of course, 99.9% of the time, there will be non-qualified transactions, meaning the highest rate. And again, level 3 processing, really hard for you to even try to implement it using the tiered structure. And then last but not least, Interchange Plus. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the most transparent type of fee structure. Why? Because Interchange Plus allows the processor to pass the hard costs from the card brand directly to the merchant and then negotiate a markup fee. Plain and simple. Now, when we review your statements and show you the Interchange Plus rates, we not only show you what you would have saved, we show you where you can go to a website and you can confirm the rate is actually what Visa and MasterCard are offering you. So it's not just the processor saying, this is the hard cost, I promise. It's, here's the hard cost, go and verify it, here's the website. Now keep in mind, this is where level 3 can be taken advantage of. Now, level 3 was a program put in place by Visa and MasterCard several years ago. And if you didn't know about it, 80% of Americans don't. I didn't before I joined APS 5 years ago. So it's something that really made my job drop to the floor because the level of savings, it can be incredible. Now, if you're multitasking, this is the only slide I'd really like for you to pay attention to, the most important slide right now. Why? Because there's a potential savings of $18,000 that you're leaving on the table. And the only reason is that you have not implemented level 3. There is nothing different that you have to do. Level 3 is requires 13 to 16 data fields to prove that it's a business-to-business or business-to-government transaction that's being processed in the continental U.S. We take those data fields from Sage, we supply them on our merchant's behalf, and we get you the savings. 80% of companies are not taking advantage of level 3. And let me tell you, just 2 months ago, we were able to save a company, and now listen to this, $400,000 a year by simply processing using the level 3 data or passing along the level 3 data. They didn't have to change anything in their workflow process. All they had to do was process within Sage 100, and we were submitting the fields for them. These are the level 3 data fields that we pass along every time you process a transaction, regardless of whether it's a corporate card or a government card. We're going to submit the fields. And maybe sometimes you don't know that it's a corporate card you just accepted. We're going to confirm, and we will get those rates for you. Take a look at this analysis review. Now, typically when we see a statement and determine the types of card brands you're accepting, we're able to give you an estimate of exactly what it would be like if you were processing using level 3 and how much money you would be saving. This was a true analysis. The average volume, monthly volume, was 128,000. We were able to save this merchant almost $1,400 a month. That's money that you're leaving on the table that could be used towards your maintenance renewal, that could be used towards that third-party product you've been needing and wanting at your company, and you just haven't had the budget for it. There's your budget. Take a look at it. Now, this particular customer was going through a tiered structure. The pricing was outrageous, and we were able to bring it down enough to save them, again, almost $1,400 a month. Most statements, as you can see here, really do not provide too much visibility. We like to do the opposite. We want to teach you not only how to understand your statement, but we want to be very transparent. We're going to show you the summary view like you're used to, but we're also going to show you full detail regarding the exact type of card brand with the exact level 3 rate and the transaction fee, as you can see the detail here at the bottom. Now, that's something that we're very proud of. And here's why many people have asked us, why change? I'm happy with the processor. If it works, if it's not broken, why change it? Let me give you some reasons why. You can see the left side of the screen, there are fees involved. Granted, sometimes the fees can be considerably small, $3.95 per month, a non-PCI compliance fee of $35 a month, small fees, if you may, but those fees will add up. And we're able to provide many of the services that your current processor is charging for at absolutely no charge. I didn't put the PCI compliance on this list, but keep in mind, we provide assistance with PCI compliance at no charge to you. So if you're seeing that PCI compliance fee or non-PCI compliance fee on your statement month to month or year to year, we will get rid of it completely. And we will make sure you become compliant. Now, at the bottom of the screen on the purple side, you'll see that we also offer level 3 processing and the APS payments portal, meaning the click to pay. This is something that no one else is offering yet, and I'm going to show it to you today. Before I go into the demo, I just want to make sure that you understand we provide our services at no charge. We will install the software, implement it, provide training, maintain it, and support it at absolutely no charge to you. We will also be able to migrate your tokens from your current processor over to our gateway, depending on the processor. So confirm with me if you're interested. But I wanted to make sure you were aware of these additional features. Now let's jump into the click to pay. As I mentioned in the beginning, click to pay allows you to send your paperless office invoice and include a pay now button on the body of the invoice. I think I already had this open out. Let me open up the software. When your customer clicks on the Pay Now button, they are able to submit their own credit card or ACH payment on the website. They will also be able to pay for one or multiple invoices, and all of that information will go right back into accounts receivable cash receipts without you having to key in any information. And I'm going to show you what that looks like. Now, what I did prior to starting the presentation, I created my paperless office invoices, and I went ahead and sent the email to my customer. So what I'd like to do is just set the background here. Let's step into your customer's shoes first. And I'll go back into Sage and show you the credit card processing as soon as I go through this click to pay presentation. So your customer has now received the invoice that you printed out. And when they go to the invoice, it's a standard crystal form, as you can see here. You can customize it, all of the detail that you're accustomed to. This is what we've added. APS click to pay, they click on the button, they're ready to pay. Notice how we will provide them with full detail when they click on that click to pay button. When they decide to make a payment, they will not only be able to see the existing invoice, but they will also be able to see any open invoices they might have, and they can also make a payment on those invoices. So if I decide to make a payment on any additional invoices, all I have to do is check them off. We're going to auto increment the balance due, the total due, and they can make custom payments. So I can say, maybe I'd like to pay only $10 on each invoice, or they can make full payments. When we originally set up the click to pay for you, we will ask you if you'd like to give your customers the option to pay using credit card as well as ACH. If you decide to give them the option for both, then they will get both options on the screen. They can also save a payment method for future use. Now, if they do that, they're going to be given login credentials to a payment portal. In that payment portal, they will be able to see their open invoices. They will be able to drill down into the open invoices, and we're going to be adding the functionality that includes the credit memos as well as options. They can use a previously saved payment method or just continue with a brand new card. Now take a look at the number of fields your customer has to fill in. 4 fields, but if they've ever used Click to Pay in the past, they will have the postal code saved, so saves them 1 field. Now I'm going to go ahead and enter my credit card information, expiration date. Notice how simple this is, and I'll submit my payment. When I submit my payment, the transaction goes through our gateway. We're going to verify the credit card information is accurate. If it isn't, we will have pop-up windows indicating a discrepancy. If the transaction went through, they will get a success notification with a transaction ID, so your customer is happy because they've made their payment and they've received confirmation. But you can also include an automatic receipt that can be emailed to your customer. So you can see the different receipts here, and they look like standard credit card processing receipts. Entirely optional, ladies and gentlemen. So let's go back to Sage. Now in Sage, as I mentioned, the payment will go directly into accounts receivable cash receipts. And what we've done is we wanted to make sure that you didn't have to take any extra steps when accepting a Click to Pay payment, and that you didn't have to manually key in any of the credit card information that was just processed by your customer. So in accounts receivable, let me jump into cash receipts entry. And this is what you would do as your standard cash receipts process at the end of the day. What we've added in cash receipts deposit is this button, APS Click to Pay. When you click on this button, all of the transactions that were made using Click to Pay that day or prior to your update will be auto-populated. You can then accept it and go directly to the customer. And in the lines field, you will be able to see the payments that were made using Click to Pay, and you'll see it in the comment as well. That's how simple Click to Pay is for you to be able to accept payments. Now, as I mentioned before, as far as credit card processing, we offer standard functionality, standard Sage functionality. You're able to create credit cards per customer, if that's what you would like. You're also able to process credit card transactions in sales order invoice data entry. You can apply credit card payments against invoices. I'm clicking on the wrong field here. Let me choose a customer. What I'd like to show you is how the standard Sage functionality applies, but in addition to the Sage functionality, we've also added the ability to turn on and off the Click to Pay per customer. So you can see my credit cards are here, and I have several cards on file. This customer is allowed to accept ACH payments. This email address will receive a receipt whenever you complete a transaction. You can choose a default credit card. Most of you that are using Sage are already familiar with this screen. In customer maintenance, the only thing you're going to see different is this. You can either turn on a universal switch that will opt in all of your customers to Click to Pay, and then you can opt out by customer, or vice versa. In my case, it's the other way around. Now, you can also add cards on the fly anywhere that you can process credit card transactions. So as I mentioned before, sales order entry, sales order invoice data entry, accounts receivable cash receipts. You can create the card in any one of those areas. You can pre-authorize transactions. You can capture the funds directly at the sales order level. You could also process individual transactions or in batches. So you can see here's my default credit card. If my customer decided they wanted to use another type of payment, I can choose, or I can add a card on the fly. This is the capture screen. We also have the pre-authorization screen, and all I have to do is submit my card. The transaction goes through our gateway. We verify everything is accurate. If it isn't, or you will get pop-up windows indicating what the discrepancy is. If the transaction went through, you'll see the message that says the transaction has been authorized, as well as a transaction ID. And then you could complete your standard process as far as invoicing and then updating at the end of the day. So ladies and gentlemen, as far as Sage, This is what I wanted to show you. Now, going back to our PowerPoint, I had promised you that I was going to show you some of the different third-party products that we integrate with, and you can see them here. ScanCo, V Technologies, ScanForce, Instadocs, SimCloud, Clear9, Magento, WooCommerce, and thousands of shopping carts. So keep in mind, if there are any integrations or any third-party products that you would like us to integrate with, let us know. If they're not listed on our website, most likely we're already working on the integration. Now, what is the APS difference? We are definitely an all-in-one processor. So if you run into credit card processing issues, you don't have to go to your ERP, to the credit card company. You come to us, we get it fixed. We've embedded APS payment portal functionality, and it's at absolutely no charge to you. As I mentioned, we detail on our statements the line item rates by card brand versus just giving you a summary. And then the savings we provide with level 3 processing will help you offset the cost of many different items that you could take advantage of in your business. I know that Faith Business has several enhancements that you might want to take advantage of. Let us offset the cost of those enhancements. Here is a quick example of one of our Sage 100 customers. Their challenges were improving business processes for internal and external customers. They needed the ability to offer several payment options to clients, and they wanted a payment solution that was fully integrated to Sage 100. So what we did is we implemented APS payments. It is fully embedded into Sage 100 and completely PCI compliant. We provided 12 to 11-hour funding. So keep that top by 9 p.m. Eastern. We will have the funds available in your bank account the next morning by 8 a.m. And of course, the client was given access to a robust, centralized reporting portal for credit card transactions. The results, of course, were an improved bottom line without a doubt. Streamlined credit card process, and of course, their customers were happier than ever. They were able to pay as soon as they got the invoice. And then the centralized reporting and reduction in manual entry and errors with integrated payment solution. That's it. They got rid of that. So those were the results. You can obtain the same results. If you're interested in obtaining a free audit of your current credit card processors' rates and fees, and ladies and gentlemen, I promise, no strings attached. We will show you where the fees are coming from. We will pinpoint the area in which the bank makes the money. We have no control over that. We will also pinpoint the areas in which the card brands are making the money. We have no control over that. We do have control over where the processors make the money, and we will show you exactly where to look to find out if you're being overbilled or have miscellaneous fees that should be non-existent. So we will let you know if there's a savings that could be had. Send us a couple of your statements. We will analyze them and contact you to go through them with you. We call it a credit card processing 101. We will empower you to go back to any processor and get the rates that you deserve. The implementation process is very simple. It takes us about 10 minutes to install a DLL. As I said, we have a migration utility, so you don't have to key in the credit card information that you already have. And then we provide training and support as much as needed at no charge. All you have to do is let us know, and you can begin saving money in no time. Take the APS challenge. If we're not able to beat or match any competitor's rates and fees, we will pay you $500 for simply allowing us to review your statements. So take the challenge. I really do want everybody to pay attention to this. It's an easy $500 if we're not able to beat or match. Last but not least, I'd like to leave my contact information on the screen. Please take note, my email address, pgaray@apspayments.com, and my phone number is on the screen. I am very excited to work with each and every single one of you and provide you with the level of savings you deserve. Jesse, I'd like to thank you once again for the opportunity to show our solution. If anybody is interested in a one-on-one presentation, please feel free to contact Jesse and he will be able to coordinate with us. Happy to provide it at any time. Thank you for your time, and I'm looking forward to speaking and hearing from every single one of you.